everyone, my name is Karina, and as you can see by the title of the video, my adopted brother did find and reunite with his biological siblings after over 20 years. So basically, just a quick backstory. My brother was adopted by my parents when he was about 5. 2 years later, I was born, so we grew up together as siblings, fought like siblings, loved each other like siblings. I didn't even know he was adopted until my dad passed away, and my brother ended up giving the eulogy at his funeral, and it came out that he was adopted. So it was like a shock to me just because I didn't even think anything of it. Like, he's still my brother regardless, you know. We still love each other the same, like nothing's changed. But he has been trying to find his biological siblings for his whole life, you know, through like internet searches, Facebook, things like that. But it was just really hard, and he never got to. And a few months ago, one of his biological brothers sent his DNA into 23andMe, and they found a match, which was his first biological cousin. And so they connected, and they sought out to just, you know, find everyone so they could reunite and finally meet for those who haven't, and reconnect for those who have. So the biological brother that sent in his DNA to 23andMe, so him and then another brother and then another sister, the 3 of them were adopted by the same family. Obviously, they grew up together and had contact with each other, but didn't know anything about the other siblings, like my brother, for instance. So they kept looking, and through Facebook and internet searches, they were able to find my brother and honestly just everyone, really. We even found like some of their cousins as well. So they found my brother last. He was the last one to be found. And they actually thought that Alonzo would be the most difficult to locate, just because when he was adopted, his siblings were told that he was adopted by a military family, which my parents did serve in the military. And they thought he was going to be somewhere international, like Germany or, you know, anywhere basically. But they did stay local, so they were literally like 30 minutes away at one point. They didn't even know. So they found my mom on Facebook, friended her, messaged her, because they remembered her name when he was adopted. And so through that, they found my brother, and they started talking like via Facebook Messenger, and just they had like a few video chats, and it was just so surreal because they were reuniting after so much time. Like, everyone is married now, has kids, have their own families. And it was especially hard for them to find some of their siblings, just because sometimes when you're adopted, your name does change. So, you know, we didn't really know who got a name change and what the name change was too. They were able to find their biological mom as well. Some have met her, some haven't, some aren't ready. And it's just a really touchy subject, so I won't go that much into it, but they did find her as well. So the only biological sibling of my brother's that I had personally met was Felipe, and that was about 20 years ago. I'm 21 now. And he and my brother were actually the closest, just because Felipe would come visit our family for holidays, birthdays, things like that. So he got to see me grow up for a little bit, and he's the only person that we have like pictures with like the whole family and everything, because he was the only one that met my parents. Yeah, so my brother was super nervous, just because even though they had talked via Messenger and phone calls eventually, they had never met in person. So he was super nervous. How do you feel?
Nervous.
Why?
Very, very nervous. What do you mean why? Because I haven't seen them in over 20 years. You know, I don't know what they're going to think of me. I don't know if we're going to have a lot in common, or if they'll really accept me for the person I am, you know?
Aww.
It's just nerve-wracking. I know that I'm probably going to end up crying, I'm not going to lie. Because, you know, as I was growing up, I kept being able to see my brother till I was about 9 years old, and then the foster home that he lived in kind of just kept telling him that because of the way he was behaving, that he wasn't allowed to see us anymore. So, having seen my brother in over 20 years, about 20 years, and then my baby sister, my baby brother, second oldest brother, And my oldest sister I haven't seen since I was 4. And I'm 28, so that's 24 years. Going on 25. So, I mean, even my brother, yesterday when we were talking on Facebook, or on Messenger, he himself even said that he considers my sister as his sister. And he even to this day, he still calls my mom, and my dad. So he'll sit there and tell stories like, hey, you remember when Dad took us to do this, or when Dad took us to SeaWorld, or, you know, when Mom did this and Sis did that. So we're all family, you know. My brother steadily came and visited my family throughout the years that he was allowed to come visit us. And, you know, like Mom and Dad basically treated him like they were his parents, you know. And I'm really excited to see them. You know, it's something that I've been praying for forever, for the longest time, ever since I can remember. So this is really exciting. I'm also going to get to meet a couple cousins, a bunch of little nieces and nephews, and a sister-in-law. So it's going to be quite exciting.
We had to wake up at 6 in the morning.
Rise and shine.
Just so we could spend the day with my mom's side of the family and have time for that, as well as having time to, you know, get ready and drive down to see my brother's biological family.
So we're about halfway there. We've knocked down 2 out of the 4 hours, but we took a pit stop at the Czech stop. It's a little Czechoslovakian bakery.
We're eating kolaches.
Delicious. And yeah.
2 more hours to go.
I don't know if my sister can handle the 2 hours of torment that I've been giving her.
Felipe wasn't able to make the Friday night reunion, but he still wanted to see Alonso that Friday night that he got there. So he told us to send him our aunt's, who we were staying with, address, and he pulled up really fast. So it turns out he actually lived like right behind her, like in the same like complex.
Bro! What's up, man? Man. Oh, 20 years, bro. How you been, man?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you? I'm good, man. And you?
Look, yeah, I'm good.
Look, good camera.
How you doing?
Good.
This is our cousin,
Oh my god.
and then our other cousin.
Forever.
It's been so
This
long.
is so long. We look exactly alike.
You want to hear something even more funny? I live here.
No
Live in
way.
the back.
Are you
No way.
serious?
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because Felipe and Alonso literally, like, they have the same voice, the same personality, they look alike, and they got along and clicked so well, so fast. After that, we went ahead and drove another hour to meet everyone else, or a few of the siblings, because not everyone was there. We got there and he got to meet his biological brother, Jess, and his biological sister, Cheyenne, and all of their kids, their families.
What's up, man? Oh,
How you doing?
it's been so long.
Yeah. It is.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't.
Awesome. I haven't seen since you were a
That's
baby.
one of my sons, Rory. That's my sister,
This is
Cheyenne.
my little one.
And then that's my
Hey,
nephew,
buddy.
Alex.
No?
Oh, I'm gonna give him a hug. He's in the garage.
Just give him time.
Where's your bag? I can put it on your bag.
You gonna put it in my bag? I don't know. Where.
Saturday morning, we got to meet Caleb, another one of Alonso's biological brothers, and he's actually the only one that they have the same mom and dad for. So that was pretty cool because they're like, yeah. But Felipe came over again with his wife and kids, and basically they just had like a family day. We got to meet one of his biological cousins as well, and their oldest sister, Christina, was also there, but I had to leave before I was able to meet her just because I had to drive home. I had a previous engagement. But yeah, so they spent the day together, and now we have a bunch of newfound nieces and nephews, siblings, cousins, and it's awesome just to see like how big our family is now. And hopefully, you know, holiday plans and birthdays and more things will pop up so that we have more chances to see each other, you know, driving down there, they can come up here and visit us. And it's just like something really exciting that doesn't happen every day. And, you know, everyone, like, they're so happy, and I'm so thankful that they got to finally get together and meet each other and reunite after so long. So we did recreate some of their pictures from when they were in the foster home to now, and it's crazy to see how much they've changed. Now everyone's older, and obviously it's 20 years later. So here are like some of the pictures we recreated. So hopefully this encourages anyone that has long lost relatives, biological parents, siblings, anything like that, to not give up and keep looking, whether it be through internet searches, Facebook, 23andMe, Ancestry.com, anything like that. It might take a few years, up to 25 like it did for my brother, but it's definitely worth it. And yeah, thank y'all for watching.